Hello, I'm Brian Clark, editor of the Modesto Bee, and welcome to tonight's 2020 General Election Candidate Forum featuring the two candidates who will be vying for the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors District 1 seat, replacing the outgoing Kristen Olson. Running to represent the district on the east side of Stanislaus County, including East Modesto, Riverbank, Oakdale, and Waterford, are Bill Zoslocki and Buck Condit. Moderating tonight's forum is Bee Opinions editor Garth Stapley. He'll be joined by the editorial board, including myself, Patty Guerra, managing editor, and information and research specialist Maria Figueroa. Garth, take it away.
Very good. We're so pleased that these candidates would join us again. We did this several months ago before the March primary, and now here we are back again. We'll start with opening statements. Bill Zoslocki, please.
Thank you, Garth. My name is Bill Zoslocki. I am married. I have 2 daughters, 1 grandson, and a second grandson literally any day, maybe any second now. So excited about that. We are in trying times right now. What separates me from my opponent is experience that's broad-reaching and multifaceted. We're in trying times because of COVID-19, unlike anything we have had in the past. It's a time where not only is our health and well-being being strained, our economic well-being is being strained also to the extreme. People are rightfully worried on all fronts. People need experienced leadership at this time. Give you an idea of who I am and what I've done. I've been in business 46 years. I've built over 500 homes, nearly 330 affordable housing units for the low and very low income. I've employed hundreds of employees and subcontractors. My partners and I brought to the community and enriched many families because of what we were able to do. I've served in 15 local, state, and national committees. My 4 top issues are COVID-19, its an impact on society, the diversity of the economy, and supporting our historical jobs, as well as providing for an ever-changing economy and being able to transition into a new economy. And number 4, being effective and supporting our public safety, primarily law enforcement, and keeping our society safe and orderly. Water, I've served on the Stanislaus Regional Water Authority and presented, as well as MID Domestic Water Policy Board and the Stanislaus Regional Water Board.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, we'll go to Buck Condit. Buck, opening statement, please.
Thank you to the Modesto Bee for giving us the opportunity to be able to present ourselves to the people of Stanislaus County. First, let me say my heart goes out to all the people and businesses struggling right now and everybody affected by COVID-19. And to all the victims out there in our county that just suffered from the fires. My condolences go out to the Berry Hill family. Loss is always tough, but he was a big man in Stanislaus County and helped immensely. My name is Buck Condit, and I'm a candidate for Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors, District 1. My wife, Kim, and I are raising our 2 sons, Ethan and Eric, in Riverbank, and we both are lifelong residents of Stanislaus County. I've been a firefighter for 33 years in Stanislaus County. And as a firefighter, you must be dedicated to the mission and dedicated to the public you serve, regardless of any obstacles and challenges ahead of you. The task must be completed. People are counting on you. I want to bring that spirit and that dedication to the Stanislaus County Board. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Buck. Okay, let's get going with some questions. This first one will be a short answer question. You don't have to go on and on, but give us an idea of what a politician does to campaign effectively in the pandemic. We'll start with you, Buck.
Right now, it's it's very tough. Do a lot of social media, a lot of talking on the phone, talking with neighbors, obviously social distancing, being able to talk to other elected boards, see how they're doing. Really, right now, it's kind of slow and it's difficult for everybody, but it's really more difficult for our businesses and other people out there. Campaigning right now is just kind of a second side. I'm really worried about our businesses and other people out there.
We'll give you plenty of time to talk about that. Bill, how do you campaign during a pandemic?
Yeah, well, this is not my first campaign, and normally you campaign going door to door if you want to win. And that's not been a reasonable option. Some people are concerned about it when you come to the door. Obviously, I have many friends that have sequestered themselves to protect their health, and it's totally understandable that those rules are gone right now. And so it is by phone, and it is by other means, either through the internet, through emails and other options that we still have available. But that personal touch is much, much more difficult at this time. But we'll get through it. You know, it's not going to be like this forever. It has been difficult on so many businesses. I just am highly concerned what will look like in 6 months from now if this thing doesn't.
Thanks, Bill.
Behave itself.
All right, Patty, you want to take the next question?
Yes. So short answer, give a letter grade, A through F, to Governor Newsom for his policies regarding COVID-19. And we could start with Bill.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
I apologize. Is that any better?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Give a letter grade to Governor Newsom for his policies regarding COVID-19.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think the challenge is it's so diversified how people perceive it. He's struggling with what no one else has ever had before in the past. And as long as it's new, you would expect that there's going to be some mistakes along the way. I'm going to give him a B, although I wish he would help us out in some variables of how to break into some groups to give us some variabilities for those that are not so affected and letting them get back to work.
Thank you. And Buck?
Thank you.
Yeah, I would give him a C. You know, just like Bill said, this is unprecedented what he's having to deal with. And I think that's all throughout the state. So it'd be a C right now.
Maria, do you want to take the next question?
Yes. If you could give a letter grade, A through F, to Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors for their performance during COVID, what would that be? Please give a grade and explain, and we'll start with Buck.
Yeah, I think another C is in order. We're all dealing with unprecedented times. However, I think we should have all been a little bit more prepared with plans for something like this. There have been letdowns with information, whether that have been with the state or with the county. One of the ways to lose the trust of the public is not give them the correct information. I think we started slow out of the gate. It seemed like we caught up, and then to find out that our numbers weren't correct. So they lost a lot when that happened. What I would like to see done at the end of this is have an after incident action plan and find out what went wrong and where, and how do we get better, because that is the job of government, is to get better and to provide those services.
Okay, Bill?
I'll rate the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors the same way that I did the governor. This is new. They were learning on the fly along with all the staff and everyone involved in it. This came up suddenly. As you all remember, in February, it was actually a pretty good economy around here. Things were cooking pretty well. And all of a sudden, bam, it hit us and it changed the entire world. The world changed. And so we're dealing with those. Yes, could they have done things better? Absolutely. Could they have communicated better? Absolutely. They made some mistakes, but I understand that. I also understand they tried to correct it. We're still trying to follow how the order works. We have our public health director that's been working and involved in things, and the information has at times not only been a little stale, but it's probably not perfectly accurate, and it won't be until we have a chance to get to the end of this and evaluate what has happened, and then take that information forward and correct it so we're ready for anything like that in the future.
Very good. This next question is sort of related. If you don't need a lot of time on it, you don't have to take your full minute, but think about if you had been a county supervisor this year, what might have you done differently? And we'll start with Bill.
Probably the number one thing is look at the immigrant population that has been so severely impacted. And I've had friends that have come down with COVID because of it. That is just, you look at it, this hindsight's easier to see than it is at the time. The population was segregated. The communication apparently wasn't there fully, and the ability to retrieve and get information into that community could have perhaps lowered those spiking numbers that came just flying into our community. So that would be one of the significant changes I would look forward to as if we ever deal with something like this ever again, is remember those that are working in our fields and serving in all different aspects of society and trying to function that may not be in the same loop and reading the same information as we.
Very good. Buck, the fire community is known for its planning. What would you have done differently from what the Board of Supervisors did to respond to COVID this year?
I think there would have a lot more emphasis on testing. I think that's where a lot of the breakdown was. My own personal story, I've had COVID in the house. My wife tested positive, and we were quarantined. She got her test back in less than 24 hours. I tested under the first responder segment of the testing, which was supposed to have been back in less than 48 hours. I got my test results back 6 days later. So if there was an issue there's obviously an issue with the testing, and I've heard stories of people having to wait 15 days for their test results to come back. My emphasis would have been on testing.
Okay, thank you. Is it all right if I just follow up by asking if your wife is all right?
Yes, no, she's recovered well. We were able to, obviously with my job and her job as a respiratory therapist, we had plans already set in our household for when that was going to happen. We just knew that it was going to happen. So when that test came back positive, we had our plans in place and we set forth with those, and we kept it from my kids and kept it from myself.
Okay, thanks for letting us pry there a little bit. Sorry about
absolutely.
that. All right, let's move on. Let's do a short answer question. What should be the Board of Supervisors' role, if any, in reopening schools? We'll start with you, Buck.
Yeah, there is, we don't have that authority to reopen schools. It is not up to us. So I'll just leave it at that.
Very good. Bill, do you have something to add to that?
I would add that the same thing. It is not the jurisdiction of the County Board of Supervisors to be engaged in those aspects of government. Government is separated for reasons, and so they can advocate. I can understand that, and I understand the importance of trying to get our children back into schools. It is affecting their learning. You can't deny that has not been a problem. And so a solution for it yet has not been found. I wish that it could be. And in the future, perhaps working with our local unions that operate within the school district, as well as the parent associations coming up with some plan to do something effectively. And I don't know the answer. I don't think anybody does yet.
Okay, thank you for fielding a few COVID questions. You probably knew that was going to come. It's top of mind right now. Let's do another one. Should the county take enforcement action against businesses that are refusing to comply with state COVID mandates? Bill, we'll start with you.
You know, that is a really good question, and certainly there are those that struggle with the answer to that question. You know, is that an overreach of government and such? We're feeling the same thing at our own city, it was in the headlines of your newspaper recently about a restaurant. So should the Board of Supervisors, they are the lowest level of state government, so they certainly have some opportunities. They are the ones that are the oversight for our public health department and those determinations that are allowed at that level. But the state is really calling the shots. I think they need to play a higher responsibility in some enforcement actions that they are implementing unto our community. It would be helpful and also give some credence to who's really calling those shots. It is confusing right now, especially when you get into a city.
Thank you. We'll move to Buck. Enforcement during COVID.
I think Bill just hit the nail on the head when he said confusing. We all need to get on the same page. Everybody needs to know what the rules are and how we're operating by them. I think it starts, with warnings and education, and let them know how bad it is, and keep working in that regards until we get to that point. Now, hopefully within that time, they can see what needs to transpire so we can stop the spread. Businesses already have it tough. They're trying to just keep their heads above water. So I would be hesitant to make fines on businesses that are trying to survive.
Very good. Thank you. Maria, can you take the next question, please?
Sure. This first question will be for Buck and then Bill after. Should people be required to wear face masks in public? And what is your personal approach to covering your own face in public?
Well, I think the governor has already put out a mandate to wear face coverings in public. I wear one when I go out and I cannot keep a social distance. I know how bad it is and I know how it spreads. And that's one thing we need to do is give the people the right information, factual information, and let them decide on their own, to have that freedom to decide on their own what they're going to do to protect themselves, their family, their neighbors, and friends.
Okay, Bill, same question.
Yeah, the governor has made that a requirement that when you're in public places, you shall wear a face mask. It's for me personally, I try to wear one when I'm out, but I have to be blatantly honest. A lot of times I jump out of the car and walk to the store and get to the front door and see the sign go, oh, not again, even though it's sitting on my lap next to me or sitting on my seat next to me. So, but it's important to go back, put it on, and sort of train yourself as much as possible. I think that's an easy give. It's an inconvenience, but it's better than shutting a business down. It's better than some of the other course of actions if we had another huge spike. And so I'm supportive of that. That's pretty easy. I know there are people I talk to in the district that think we shouldn't have to wear them, but you know, it's not an easy call, and this is an easy one.
Very good. Let's turn to Brian for the next question, please.
Okay, we'll start with Bill, and these are 1-minute answers. Bill, who do you support in the race for mayor of Modesto?
I have too many friends in that race, so I'm not supporting anyone. I'm staying out of the race. That's the answer.
Okay.
We might remind everybody that Bill is a member of the Modesto City Council, so that's probably not a surprising answer from him, but thank you. Moving on to Buck.
Yeah, I'm focusing on my my election here. I haven't even entertained that yet.
Good enough.
Patty, you want to take the next one?
Sure. This question is just for Buck. If Chance Condit, your first cousin once removed, is elected as a county supervisor in District 5, do you see a perception of the two of you joining together in a family voting bloc? Would it be positive or negative to have two Condits on the same governing body?
Well, I think the people are going to decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. We would not have a family voting bloc, that's for sure. We're both independent thinkers. we analyze and check out our positions independently. And I think he'll be a great supervisor if he's honored to be elected. And so with me, I'll be honored.
Okay. And over to Bill. Would there be a danger of nepotism if both Condits are elected?
You know, it obviously would be out there, and I would hope not. I'm going to give the credit to both of them that they be prepared for that consideration.
We'll start with Bill on this next question. The issue of police involvement in people's lives is top of mind also in these days. And a couple of weeks ago, we had in the newspaper an op-ed column written by several community groups jointly, and they called for the creation of an independent civilian review board for police. We're wondering if such a thing should be done for the Sheriff's Department, the creation of an independent civilian review board for the Sheriff's Department. Bill.
You know, I have not seen any information that defines what that civilian review oversight committee would be. And that's both at Modesto PD, where it was directed, that I have seen. And so, no, I'm not supportive of that until I understand what we're trying to do. Currently, right now, it's very difficult to find law enforcement officers. They are under extreme scrutiny. They have been vilified by so many groups. And locally, particularly in MPD, we do have an oversight board. It's called the Clergy Council. They've been in operation for probably 7-8 years. And have very effectively been engaged and involved in the process. And they have been effective in in allowing for the free flow of information through transparency. That's important. I think transparency and getting information out quickly and having a non-biased group there is not an issue. But beyond that, I don't know that I'd be supportive of it.
Buck, do you need the question again, or are you ready to go?
Yeah, if you would, please just repeat it.
Sure. Would you support the creation of an independent civilian review board for the Sheriff's Department?
No, I would not support an independent review board. I believe the Board of Supervisors is that board. We are the ones that control the purse strings for the Sheriff's Office. If there's individual officers that if something happens, you have internal affairs, you have the DA's office that investigates. So no, I would not be supportive of an independent review board.
Thank you for your answers. Brian, you want to take the next question?
Yeah, and this goes to Buck. First, do you see a struggle for development of land between Modesto and Riverbank? And if so, how should it be resolved?
I'm not sure that there is a struggle. I know Modesto and Riverbank works together on that. And if there are issues, then those issues go before LAFCO. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not, maybe I don't know that there's a conflict out there, that maybe there's a conflict I don't know about. You know, if there are issues like that, then that goes through the LAFCO board. But I think, you know, if there are issues with Riverbank and Modesto, then communication, sitting down and having a discussion always helps.
Good. Bill?
I have not heard anything specific. I know that as we were at one time just recently having a discussion about a urban limit line policy within Modesto, that has since been sidelined and has gone away. And so there was some discussion about where it should run. Having been in this business for a long time, it was thought as Clarabelle was sort of the end of between the two. North Clarabelle probably goes to Riverbank, whatever, but then it gets, you get into the farm ground issues in some areas, and so it's going to be difficult going that direction. South is mostly in Modesto area and Modesto. So I don't know that it's really a large concern.
Garth, next question.
Very good. You two are running to succeed Kristen Olson, who is now serving in that position on the Board of Supervisors. Say something good that you like about her and maybe something that she could have done better.
Who's first?
Bill.
Bill.
Oh, okay. All right. I did not hear that. You know, I've known Christian for a lot of years. She was always very approachable. She took time whenever I communicated with her to answer my questions, to engage into things. I liked Christian as a person particularly. And when I saw her off the clock, she was always friendly and approachable. So that's my take on her. Is she perfect? No. Did she make some mistakes? Yeah. Did she maybe get involved within the supervisors, and she tried to manage as best she could, but sometimes she sort of overbooked herself. And that would be my only criticism, and that could happen to probably anybody at some point in time.
Bill, same question. I'm sorry, Buck, same question.
Yeah, Kristen's a nice lady, and she runs a good board of supervisors meeting, that's for sure, and she's had to deal with quite a bit. I think if there's anything that negative to be said, and this is coming from out in the community, that she's kind of disappeared from District 1. It's hard to set up meetings, and so I think that maybe just being out in the district more, and I know that's hard with COVID and those types of things, but I guess that's what I would say on that.
All right. Of all the differences between you and your opponent, what sets you apart the most? We'll start with Buck.
What sets us apart? I think my 33 years in the fire service, providing service to Stanislaus County residents. 28 and a half of those years have been in District 1. I've worked out of every fire station, covered, ran calls, been in businesses, been in their houses. I've been tied to the community for a while, and I think that's what sets us apart in this particular race.
Very good. Bill.
I sort of answered that in my opening statement, but I'll restate some of it, is experience in other aspects. Being a businessman for 46 years and having functioned within all aspects of society and all areas within government before I got into business has set me into a position of being able to talk to people, to negotiate, to create a consensus with differing groups. And that's always a challenge. That's what I do in my capacity as a city councilman, is be the liaison for people that are trying to do things or communicate with government. And so that's my strength, I believe. And it's shown with things that I've been able to accomplish, including Highway 132, including being able to save $2.1 million by looking at what we were going to be charged for street lights. All of those things are because of my experience.
Thank you, Bill. Brian, would you have a question?
Yeah, back to Bill. How has the experience of running for county supervisor changed your worldview?
Because it's a different world. It's a much larger aspect than just a city. So now we're dealing with all of the department differences between a city that does not have a health department, that does not have a sheriff's office, that does not have all of the aspects of law enforcement and the district attorney office. All of those things are significantly greater and require much more intuition and adding to that experience to be able to carry and function and keep those departments safe, strong, and growing in their scope, as well as building efficiencies in them. All of those I'm looking forward to being involved and communicating and working with.
Great, thanks, Bill. Buck?
Yeah, go ahead and repeat that again, please. Kind of cut out.
How's the experience of running for county supervisor change your worldview?
My worldview. This is the first office that I've ran for, and so I'm learning a lot on the fly. But it all comes down to one simple thing. You're running to represent the people of the community, and you want to listen to what they have to say, because I think sometimes they get left out in decisions that are made in the government arena. I think sometimes they feel like they get they're the afterthought. So, you know, my worldview is representing the people of District 1, and that's Modesto, Riverbank, Waterford, Empire, Knights Ferry, Valley Home, Eugene. So, you know, representing all those people that are in the outlining areas.
Thank you. Garth?
All right. Thank you very much, guys. We're about out of questions. We'd like to offer you an opportunity for a closing statement. We'll reverse the order and we'll start with Buck. Closing statement.
Thank you. Thank you again, Modesto Bee, for the opportunity to be here. As a firefighter of 33 and a half years, over 28 of those years have been serving the people of District 1. I've worked out of or covered every fire station in the district. This has put me on your street, in your homes, your businesses, and in your orchards. I know District 1. I will be accessible, approachable, and responsive to your needs. We can continue down the same path with the same ideas, or we can try using a different approach. We must meet our challenges with the goal of improving the quality of life for our residents in Stanislaus County. I'm running for supervisor to bring fresh ideas and a common sense approach to local government. When I announced my candidacy for supervisor almost a year ago, I did it from my front porch with many friends and family present. Our homes and our neighborhoods represent the very best of who we are and what we can accomplish together. I ask that you consider me when you decide who you support for county supervisor. And I'm honored to have the Stanislaus County Sheriff Supervisors Association endorsing my campaign, as well as Assemblyman Heath Flora. Thank you.
Thank you, Buck. We appreciate that. Bill, closing statement.
Thank you, Garth. And again, thanks to the Modesto Bee for sponsoring and putting on this informal debate that we have actually had here. I would add part of the challenges that we have often in Stanislaus County is the ability to create an opportunity for people to live effectively, to pay their bills, to be able to educate their children, to house themselves, and create a place that a family can grow and prosper and become part of the community in the future. We have housing crises that is developing and it is upon us. It is obviously a current charge of the governor. Part of that is just part of the challenges that we have. We also have problems with water. We have problems with our community and law enforcement, and the state having sent so many prisoners into our community. There are many, many things that I've been already involved in and functioned with in order to minimize those issues. I would certainly appreciate your support. Look at my record. Don't just, it's not something that has not been spoken of. It has been proven in my record of serving on the city council and now looking towards the supervisors. Thank you very much. I appreciate your efforts for those that have been involved in this.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Buck. Both of you, public servants who have really done a lot for our community. Both of you, we appreciate you, and we appreciate the dedication that it takes and the sacrifice that it takes to run for public office. It's not always an easy thing, especially I would imagine in a time of COVID. So thank you. Just a couple of reminders for our viewers. This concludes tonight's candidate for Stanislaus County Supervisor District 1, but make sure that you tune in for our other debates that we're going to have throughout the entire month of September, and they will be available on modbee.com up until the November 3rd election. For example, this week we have tomorrow evening we'll have candidates for California Senate District 5. That's Republican Jim Ridenauer and Democrat Susan Telemanis Eggman. We should post that tomorrow evening. And then on Thursday, we'll have the candidates for the second and final seat on the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors, District 5, and they are Tom Hallinan and Chance Condit. Thank you and good evening.